Thanks for joining us. Elizabeth and I are going to be talking about and demonstrating the 5 basic fundamentals in Pilates. Breathing, pelvic placement, rib cage placement, shoulder girdle stability, and head and cervical placement. Breathing. As a beginner, don't place so much emphasis on it. Just remember to breathe naturally. As you advance, the breathing takes on a much larger role in stabilization and mobilization of the body, as well as variation of your routine. From here, you're going to lay on down, rest the head, and keep the knees in a bent position. This will help take stress off of your back. You want your chest nice and open, and when we do our breathing, you're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now, when we breathe in, I want you to place your hands around your rib cage, the bottom of your rib cage. The thumb goes around the back. When you inhale, feel the rib cage fill up with air. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel the rib cage collapse to blow all the air out, and feel the waistline cinch in to help assist that air out. And again, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Connect in the ribs, connect in the waistline. Good, and again, a deep breath in. You also want to think of keeping the shoulder blades pressed to the mat as you blow out. Don't breathe out so hard that you feel the chest collapse, but keep it open. And one more breath in, and one more breath out. Very nice. We're now going to talk about pelvic placement. It is key to learn the stabilization of the pelvis and lumbar spine in both neutral and imprinted positions. By placing your hands on top of your hip bones, fingers on top of the pubic bone, you're able to see if you were in a flat, level surface. Imagine you're placing a hot cup of coffee onto your abdomen. If you were to flatten your back, the coffee would spill towards your navel. If you were to overarch and place stress on your back, it would spill towards the front. So you want to find a level, flat surface where that won't happen. Now, using the abdominals, the obliques, and your lower back, as well as the muscles of the pelvic floor, it will help you create more stability within this neutral position. Going into a flat back is necessary when you can't achieve a neutral position using the proper muscles. That's when you go into a posterior pelvic tilt, bringing the pubic bone higher than the hip bones. So in this case, you can let your coffee spill towards the navel. Doing this position will help you get out of your back. Use this position until you develop the strength to be able to hold into a neutral position. Next, we're going to talk about rib placement. The abdominal wall attaches to the lower rib cage. To keep the rib cage in proper alignment, you want to be aware of maintaining abdominal engagement and not popping the ribs while lying flat. An exercise to show you if you are popping the ribs is to draw those arms directly above the chest. Now, when you raise those arms all the way overhead onto the mat, be careful not to pop your ribs like this, but to keep the ribs engaged by using the upper abdominals, bringing the rib cage down towards the mat. Therefore, you're protecting the lower back and the neck muscles. And bring those arms back down. We're now going to talk about scapular stabilization. It is important to stabilize the scapula to prevent the upper traps and the muscles that surround the neck and upper shoulders from being stressed. You want to be aware of scapular placement at all times. A few exercises that you can do to test yourself if your shoulder blades are in the right position are called shoulder shrugs. Here, you would shrug the shoulders up to the ears. However, you're stressing your cervical spine and the neck muscles. So you're going to bring the shoulders down and release all that tension away from the neck, creating space between the ears and the shoulders. Your chest is going to open up as if you were holding onto an orange between your shoulder blades, opening up the breastbone and creating a little bit more width. You want to maintain the rib cage placement like we were speaking about before. Another test is bringing those arms directly above the chest. What you're going to do here is raise the arms straight up towards the ceiling. However, this is caving the chest in. So what you want to do is bring the shoulder blades back down to the mat, gripping onto that orange between the shoulder blades, creating a little bit more width in the chest and maintain length in your neck. And rest. Next, we're going to talk about head and cervical placement. Think of your head as an extension of your spine. The curve of the cervical spine should hold its position, and the skull should balance directly above the shoulders. To prevent going into the neck when doing flexion, the back of the neck should slightly lengthen and the chin will drop towards the chest. So we're going to do a cervical nod here. You're going to keep the head down and just drop the chin slightly towards the chest. You don't want to overdo it where you start to create chin wrinkles. You want to release. Imagine the size of a small fist underneath your chin. You also don't want to overextend your neck, placing stress on the front of it, but you want to come into a more neutral position. So think about a fist or an apple underneath your chin. This will allow you to help get more into your abdominals and less into your neck muscles when you continue on with the exercises.